Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going way better than fantastic and your journey to self-betterment is going way better than fantastic as well. And sorry for the few days I've been away. I've been busy with some important things. Then I had to take some time to recharge my cartoon batteries. Which as we know is very very important. With that said, I want to thank you all for supporting my channel. The comments keep coming with encouraging words and great questions. One comment from a subscriber wants to know how can someone rediscover themselves after all of this mess we have been through. Namely, narcissistic abuse. And I want to say, thank you for this question. As this is a very important topic. As there are many people right in this spot right now, not knowing what to do, or how to go about moving forward. And this made me think about something. What is that something? You see, many of us years and years ago, we found ourselves on this journey to learning about narcissism. Because most of us, me included, searched online for emotional abuse and information on emotional abuse. And guess what we ran into over and over again? The term narcissism. And most of that information was written by Sam Vaknin. There were others that had websites and books and information. However, Sam's information was the easiest to find. And what started the learning process for most of us? And those of us with faith beliefs, such as having a belief in our Heavenly Father, we started to see the evil that was spoken about in the Bible, and how Satan and his followers would manipulate and trick people. Often followed the patterns much like the narcissists in our lives followed. Why is this important? Well, most of what I've heard Sam speak about on the subject of narcissism, narcissistic abuse, and even how narcissism is ruining and rotting our society. I agree with how he is seeing things and what he has to say. However, there was one time a while back, maybe a year or two possibly, where he said something that, at least to be fair, I partially disagree with. And I say partially for a reason I will point out in a moment. And yes, this all relates to the topic of this video. Sam made a video a while back mentioning how there is a growing number in the narcissistic abuse community pushing this message about being special. And that's why they were chosen by the narcissist to be mistreated and narcissistically abused. And how this is false. That the narcissist just does what they do. Simply put. And it just so happened to be taken out on this not so special person. And really it could have happened to anyone. And yes, I agree. Some can have an overinflated idea of one's self-importance. This is where I agree. And this is why I say, if you came from a home with narcissist parents, take time to self-reflect on your own toxic behavior. Because even though you may have empathy and love in your heart, it is highly likely you picked up some toxic traits that quite possibly, not always, but quite possibly turned off those normal people around you from wanting to get to know you further. No matter that be for dating purposes, or just being friends. And because most people, not all, but most don't feel it's their responsibility to tell us about our behavior. Which that would be correct. It's not their responsibility at all. What we find is these people just vanish and we never see them again. And we never gave it a second thought because we didn't know them very well anyways. So please, we need to self-improve and self-reflect. Don't beat yourself up metaphorically speaking. But self-reflect. One of the big ones is telling people too much information and oversharing. Again, this is something most of us were conditioned to do. However, this can be a bit much for others to hear and can be even taken as a way that you are arrogant and cocky, when you are just trying to share and might not mean it that way. I think you get the idea. However, this is where I disagree with Sam. Most narcissist parents and or spouses or so-called friends are extremely jealous of others that have something they don't have. And many of them plan 20 steps ahead. Why? So you have a difficult time escaping them. And so narcissists engage in all kinds of sabotage and pulling the rug out from those they mistreat. And if they see you have even the smallest to the biggest of talents and skills, what is it that they do? They do what they can to ruin it. Now they might show up pretending to have best intentions. But then once they have your trust, they will on purpose completely destroy any opportunity for you to get ahead in life. Why? Because of jealousy. Because of envy. And because they want to see you stuck and with no other option but to deal and be around them. So they can feed on your misery and pain. Misery and pain that has been manufactured by them, the narcissist. Why is this important, and what does this have to do with this one disagreement on the evils of narcissism from one person to another? And yes, I understand Sam is a narcissist and he knows how a narcissist thinks. And yes, I agree that they are what they are. And they do what they do. But one thing they do, and I would imagine he would agree to this, is manipulate and plan ahead to gain and keep supply. And how do you do that when you have a family and you are a narcissist parent or parents? You sabotage that family. You sabotage them. Think about all of the stories where someone said, I was a good singer and wanted to sing in the school choir, but I was prevented by my mother or father. Or I liked to draw, and all I wanted was some drawing supplies for my birthday. And your mother or father purposely spent the same amount of money on something else, in the hopes you would get upset and they could call you ungrateful. Now you see, you might not ever be an award-winning singer or artist, but that still quite possibly was your talent, which yes made and makes you special. And it's my belief, when God our Heavenly Father makes each and every one of us, He makes us with a purpose in mind, and with talents and skills to get us through life. And so we can have a life, a fruitful life, as we are able to develop these talents and skills. Let me give you an example. Take a moment and look at the societal narcissists for a moment. What is it that they've been doing for years, if not decades? They have been working hard to make as many people dependent on them and their system and as underdeveloped as humanly possible. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Sounds almost like our narcissist mother or father, doesn't it? And it doesn't matter if you are rich or poor. The methods are a little bit different from one to the other. However, the goal is the same. To keep you stuck so you are a constant source of narcissistic supply to them. So in some instances they might help you become a world-famous singer. But they will sabotage other areas of your life. So you won't know how to handle your money or your emotions. So you will make tons of mistakes. Tons of mistakes these narcissists have mapped out 20 steps ahead of time. All hoping these mistakes lead to them having more control over this person's life. So they gain and keep control over their narcissistic supply. So you bet you're special. You bet you are. Yes. They might think matter-of-factly and like a lizard that this is a threat to them. So they have to make sure they do something about it. But the thing that is a threat to them is special to you. That thing might have helped you get a full ride to leave out of state to college and build a life. And they know that. It might have exposed you to normal people so you could compare and see how messed up your family really was and is. And they knew and know that as well. So it's their job, if they see anything special or good about you that could lead you to living them and their sick ways in the dust, they will figure out a way to squash it before it can get started. Heck, I believe they have something in them that is hyperly alert to see these things quickly so they can act quickly. Or so they can at least make a plan to ruin your life. So how does this tie in with rediscovering yourself? Or as some might say, reinventing yourself? Take a look back at that one love, or many loves that you had growing up. Again, maybe you love to draw, but you doodle around and you just feel like your drawings nowadays are complete and utter garbage. Take a moment and say to yourself, wait a minute. This was taken. It was taken from you when you were little. Had you had a chance to come from a family that loved and encouraged you, maybe you might not become the world's best artist. However, it might have brought you into another field like architecture. Or maybe, just maybe, you would be good enough to draw things you enjoyed as a pastime or hobby. So take the time to research how to get better at drawing. Practice. Practice. And then you might find a class nearby your home where they teach drawing. You pay your small fee. You learn new techniques. Or techniques that are new to you anyways. You might get to share a couple of nice hellos. And see you next class with your classmates. Nothing big. Just basic first name basis small talk. Hey James. Glad to see you made it to class today. Sometimes hearing that aloud is what you needed all along. When was the last time you heard someone say your name out loud in a happy and positive way? For some it's been years. And some never at all. Just go to class. Practice your not oversharing. Treat yourself to a cup of coffee around the corner before or after class. Smile at those you see and accept their friendly smiles back. And if they don't want to smile, just politely take your coffee and keep on moving. And find another more friendly coffee stand to go to. And you see, these are building blocks. Have you heard of cases of people in their 70s going to law school? Now this is a pretty big thing to undertake. But let's say you are 35. You are learning about narcissism. You are learning about how you grew up. And how you've been treated by so-called friends. And other people you loved and thought loved you back but didn't. You missed so many years of growing and developing yourself. Please understand. You might not get exactly what you want for yourself. But if you move forward you will likely end up somewhere positive. You might dread to go into work because you don't like the job you do. And you don't like working for the boss you have. But then you go to your drawing class 3 days a week. You get to casually meet a few people in your class. And one of these people says, "Wow James. You are catching on to the teacher's instructions pretty fast. You are really good with your drawings. I work for a company that could use someone like you. Plus you seem to be very friendly and we are needing someone like you at our company." You see, going back to growing up with a narcissist. Narcissists know if we are able to shine around others. Yes, some might be jealous. And this isn't arrogant to say. Because jealousy is a very common and destructive human emotion or feeling. But there are others that might see us as an asset. And that's what our narcissist parent or parents were afraid of. Afraid sooner or later we would fall into the right situation and be able to move forward. And how does this happen? We live our lives. We live our lives. Now, here's the thing. You might go to art class. And nothing happens. Except you get better at drawing and you meet a few nice people. You work on your skills of not oversharing and learning how to read people better. And how to be good to yourself, which is very important. But if that is all that happens, what's the problem? What's the problem? The thing is, even if the narcissist isn't in your life anymore, they want you to be and stay isolated after they are long gone and for you to not have a life. No. You might not be Superman or Superwoman. I understand what Sam means regarding some have an overinflated idea of their self-importance. However, to think you aren't special and that you weren't carefully and wonderfully made isn't healthy as well. Because the truth is God knows what He's doing and did make you to be special and unique. The problem is the narcissists in our lives have trained us to second guess everything we do. We never step into that art class. We never join that gym. We don't get that software and microphone to make some nice professional sounding recordings of us singing. Or maybe learning a school subject we've always wanted to learn better. It all starts with one step of finding that one thing and starting it. And at the same time self-reflecting how this new thing we are doing can help us become a better person and learn and sharpen our life skills so we don't turn off the new healthy people we meet. And so we can see the toxic people ahead of time and sidestep them and be able to continue to move forward. Now I want to say, my disagreement on this point with Sam is simply just that. A difference of opinion. As I think his work is very well thought out and he has tons upon tons of great information. And even on this topic, I still partially agree. We have to make sure our self-reflection is honest and real. Understanding where the areas of opportunities are for self-improvement. But at the same time, don't second-guess everything you do. And don't metaphorically beat yourself up. You didn't know. You are learning and growing like all of us. And tomorrow is another day to do better. But also know at the same time you were beautifully and wonderfully made. You are indeed blessed and highly favored. And yes, you are talented. Yes, you are skilled. And there's a good chance that the narcissists along the way when you were young and helpless and dependent on certain people for your survival, they did their best to mess up your life and ruin every chance that came your way. And had they not had done that and had they actually loved you, things might have turned out differently. And I say that to not have you dwell on things and stay stuck and upset, but to give you a little bit of metaphoric fire to know you still have a little bit in the tank, so to speak. Because I've seen it with my own two cartoon eyes. People I knew growing up that had really awesome parents that loved their children and helped encourage their talents. These people were able to create. And I do mean create wonderful and fun lives. Lives of being their own bosses. Lives of using their talents in one way or another. And lives where they weren't 100% dependent on the matrix system. And as an adult I look back and understand it's a block building process. One block takes you here and another block takes you there. But if you don't start stacking your blocks, you will never go anywhere. And these people with their help of their parents kept moving forward. Now because you might be starting late in the game, don't expect something tremendous. However, get started and do what you can where you're at. And do just a little bit at a time. And if some of that allows you to get out of the house every now and again, where you can hear someone say your name in a friendly way. Hey James. It's really good to see you again. I was hoping you were going to make it to class today. Just hearing that might make you feel good even for the moment and smile. People. We all deserve to be loved. Or to hear our name spoken. Or to share a simple laugh with someone even if it's a stranger. And narcissists. Narcissists, including the societal narcissists, want to take that from you. Don't let them take from you your special gifts and your unique abilities. They were given to you by our Heavenly Father for you to enjoy and help you get through life. So if you want to rediscover yourself, start there. Start there. Well, I think this is a great place to stop. Thank you all again for your support. I really appreciate you all. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.